Hi everyone, it's Dr. Shivi Rayar here today on Raised Consciousness. I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Connecting to Your Joy offerings that I have put down in the link below. But before I went into it, I thought I would just share some ideas that have been running in my mind and I thought would be helpful for you to consider in your daily life. So often when we are feeling all sorts of feelings, be they be sadness, happiness, joy, fun, boring feelings, so on and so forth, we may fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I hate feeling so angry, or I hate feeling so sad, or I hate feeling anxious, or I wish I was feeling more joyful, and so on and so forth. But if we looked at the perspective of these feelings as coming from this space of a third party, so to speak, having a little bit of a distance from them and giving them some names and some characters just to make it a little bit more fun. I mean, if you're going to experience these feelings, you might as well have a little bit more fun with them. So for instance, if you were having Miss Angry, I'll call her Miss Angry. You remember those little characters you used to read in those little storybooks? They were Miss Grumpy, Miss Happiness, Miss Giggles, that sort of thing. Well, I think that would actually be quite helpful for our emotions. So if we thought of Miss Angry as someone who is fuming, absolutely annoyed and irritated and red in the face and just, completely out of control. And we call her Miss Angry and said, oh, well, Miss Angry has rocked up today. And then you looked at, say, Miss Sadness. Miss Sadness is weepy and miserable and just in a space of constant darkness. And you say, right, well, today Miss Sadness has visited me. Or Miss Guilt or Miss Shame and so on and so forth, as well as for all of the happy feelings. Miss Joy, Miss Fun, Miss Laughter, Miss Gorgeousness, Miss, connectedness, so on and so forth. But if we were imagining our body and our mind as this beautiful home, and hence I've shot this video in my home, and suddenly, all of a sudden, something happens, right? Like your kid, spills your food that you have spent 2 hours cooking, and it's just all over the ground, and you just feel just angry because you're exhausted and you're tired and you just suddenly feel this feeling of anger. And you just need that pause in between and you go, gosh, Miss Anger and Miss Rage has rocked up now, okay? And you say, right, just take that 1 second pause, it's just 1 second. And you say, I love and accept you, Miss Anger. I welcome you and create a space for you in my home, okay? And bear with me on this because some of you might feel a little bit uncomfortable about this, but we're not going to act on Miss Anger, we're just going to welcome her into our home. And as you welcome Miss Anger into the home, and you give her a hug or a cuddle wherever you're feeling her. So she might come straight for the throat, she might come straight for your ears, she might come straight for your heart, you might be feeling her there. And you give her a hug and a cuddle and you say, I'm here for you, I'm not going anywhere, I'm right here for you. And you say to Miss Anger, what is it that you actually need right now? And you might notice Miss Anger, she might have these large skirts and Miss Anger might be hiding a few other characters behind her. So she might be hiding Miss Guilt, Miss Shame, Miss Sadness, Miss Tiredness behind her. And Miss Anger might say, listen, I am so angry and I'm so tired. And you go, oh, there's Miss Tiredness there. And I am so upset because I just haven't had time for myself and I'm really exhausted and I feel so bad because I can't be present with the people in my life. And so then suddenly you notice Miss, not being present being there, and Miss Disconnected being there, and Miss Sadness and so on and so forth, Miss Guilt, Miss Shame. They're all hiding behind the skirts of Miss Anger, and they're feeling all of this lack that I go through in the first module about the iceberg of emotions. And then you say, Miss Anger, would you like to have a bit of a break and have a bit of a lie down, or have a, hot chocolate by the fire? Miss Anger goes, yes, please, I need a break. I've been holding all of these people here with me. And then you go, right, Miss Guilt, Miss Sadness, Miss Shame, let me give you a big cuddle and a hug. And you might be feeling them in your tummy, you might be feeling them in your shoulders, wherever you feel them in your body and your mind. You give them a big hug and a cuddle, and you say, right, I love you, I accept you, and I'm willing to create a space in my body and my mind here for you. And what is it that you really need right now? And you might hear Miss Tiredness saying, oh, I just need a break. I just need to stop. I need to have a soak in a bath. I need to just do nothing. I need permission to say stop to myself. And you go, right, okay, I hear you. What else do the rest of you need? Miss Guilt, Miss Shame, I need to know that I am enough. I'm enough as a mother. I'm enough as a parent. I'm enough as a wife. I am enough as a human being. And so you might then say to all of these, feelings like Miss Shame, Miss Guilt, whatever it is that they need to hear, you then say those words to yourself. So you might say, you are enough. You are a good parent. You are a good mother. And then you might hear the feelings go, no, I'm not any of these things. And then your parent, Miss Guilt, Miss Shame, all of these might say, I just want to feel what you're telling me. So you might then just say it over and over. You might say, you are a good parent. You are a good person. You are enough. It is okay for you to have a break. And you say this a few times until you then change it from another person saying it to you to saying it directly for yourself in first person. So you might say, I am a good parent. I feel like a good parent. I am doing the best I can, and that is completely enough. I am enough. I deserve a break. It is okay for me to have a break. And then as you say this to yourself, because you're finally creating this space for yourself to really sit with all of these beautiful feelings who are actually on your side, like these amazing, strong love warriors. They're there to get your attention, to say, I need you to listen to me because you are pretending that we don't exist and you are completely disconnecting from yourself, and we need you to hear what we have to say. And sometimes they just can't get our attention any other way but through these strong, strong emotions. They're on our side. And so as we finally hear them and as we finally see what they are trying to say to us, and then we actually give what they're requesting that we receive, you then turn around and you say, Miss Guilt, Miss Shame, how are you now? How's it all going? And they're like, we're good. We're actually totally fine. We're relaxing, and so glad that you stopped to soak yourself in the bath, and so happy that you decided that you weren't going to you didn't have to keep going, and you asked for a bit of a hand. And Miss Anger, where are you? And she's nowhere to be seen because she's sort of merged in with what she was really asking for. And then you get to invite Miss Joy and Miss Peace and Miss Relaxation and Miss Connectedness back in, because that is what all of these other feelings were actually asking for. So that was my little take on some of these feelings and these emotions. And one of the things that I hope that you will get out of the offerings of connecting to your joy is that you start to understand a little bit more about the science behind the way the thoughts and the feelings occur with the brain and the heart connection, as well as connecting to your deep intuition. I think that has been really vital for me to connect to my deep sense of joy. And there's intuitive parts of the brain and the heart that connect in coherence with each other to help you connect to that. And it is inherent inside of each and every one of us. And it's just a matter of connecting back to that in such an amazing, beautiful way. So thank you for joining me today. And I hope that you are having a wonderful day, being there for yourself, no matter what feelings are arising for you. And if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about how to connect deeper to your joy, see the link below, and I'll see you for the next session. Take care.